What's up everyone, welcome to another video, and today we'll be doing some crafting before tomorrow's rune removal. Alright, so this month actually I don't have as much crafting to do because I didn't farm um, the raid base this month, or over the past couple of weeks. I've been doing dungeon runs. Reason being, I've been at home due to the holidays, so I take the opportunity to spam dungeon runs where possible. Because when I'm at work, I don't want to run dungeons at work because most of my dungeons are like they don't take very long to do. So I don't want to keep looking at my phone all the time. Oh, hang on. This is okay, I guess. I'll take that. Yeah, while I'm at home, I took the opportunity to do more dungeon runs and R5 as well. But yeah, I'll be doing raid beasts again by next time. Oh, the resistance. Nah, not gonna keep that one. If the substats were good, I would have kept it, but it was a bit all over the place there. But I've been trying to improve my raid base team. I actually have a much more stable win team, so I'll be able to do more enhanced runes, which is probably the next most important one that I want to farm now. I've got quite a good base of fight runes. I want a few more, but it's not as big of a priority. So, oh, this one's pretty good, or pretty decent. So I want to farm some more determination and some more enhanced runes as well, and maybe a few tolerance runes because I got a few grinds to use on them. This one might be okay. We'll have a look at that one. Nah, I'm not gonna keep that. I've been trying to be a bit more picky with the runes that I keep as well. Violence still, you can't really have too many violent runes. So violent runes, I'm a bit more lenient, but for like most other sets, I'm a lot more strict. A defense DPS rune maybe could be okay. Alright, so let's switch to one of the other runes because I want to try to evenly spread out my usage of the materials that I have. So let me check. Okay, I got a lot of of the necro materials, so we can do some of these. So yeah, pretty much when I do rune crafting, I try to utilize as many of the materials evenly across the board as I can. And then basically get them all close to zero, in the end. I also did that. I recorded, or I've pre-recorded some rune crafting on my alt, and I'm gonna try doing that one a bit differently. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit that one, and basically talk about it, or basically I'll record my voice, on that afterwards. Now, the downside to that would be you don't get to see me react to a really good rune, right? I don't know how important that is. It's some people like reaction, people having funny reactions and stuff. But yeah, I'll try doing different it's more for variety. So like this one, I'm doing it live. I'm talking to you. Oh, hang on. Oh, this is a weird rune. I want to keep it because it's legend will, and it's got decent substats. Oh, another legend rune. Alright, this one's got crit rate. I'll give that one a go as well. Because that one, the previous one that was 6-star, that one could be a good tanky rune, and then this one could also be an okay tanky rune. So let's keep that. And the sort of units I would use that sort of tanky rune on will be Rune, Jotan, maybe a Huadam, You know, that sort of thing, right? There's units that just only care about like HP and HP defense and res. Oh, uh, you know what? This one could roll into like a decent bomber rune. Okay. Oh, we'll see how that goes. Oh no, no, never mind. You know, that rune just reminded me of a there was a Reddit post like earlier today that some guy was like, the best runes are flat stat main stat runes, and then in the post it said because it has the best substats, and you know that's pretty true. Like it's oh hang on, this one could also be like a decent bomber rune. Um, yeah, like there's some truth behind that. Oh, this one may be okay. It's a 5-star, but it's got crit rate and attack, so we'll keep that. I'm sure most people will notice when you're farming, you know, you see like these runes with awesome substats, you know, like say speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, or something like that, and it's a flat stat, main stat. Actually, I guess that rune was keepable as well, but I was a bit unsure about it because it was a min roll on crit rate. I don't if it starts off with max roll, i.e. 5%, you know, for a 5-star, I consider keeping it just to see how it turns out. But when it's a min roll, and it's a pretty bad start already. So usually for 5-star runes, you're looking for multiple max rolls, because once you get multiple max rolls, it's basically like having a 6-star that medium rolled, right? And medium roll 6-stars are still okay, alright? So yeah, 5-star runes. I think actually someone's asked me that before. Like, how often do you keep 5-star runes? It's pretty rare, right? What I want in the 5-star rune. Oh, hang on. Let me switch to we'll switch to this like this Swift for a bit. For when I keep 5-star runes, it will usually be at least probably like at least purple quality, and it would need to have good substats. Like say this one's got good substats, right? It's got speed, and there's no flat stats. So, or even then, like this rune, I would probably only keep it if it multiple rolls into speed. But yeah, that sort of rune I would keep because it started off with a roll of 5, which is decent, right? So that would be when I would keep a 5-star. Legend rune I would probably keep. Like I say, this one, it's a legend rune, even though the speed roll is only like min roll, right? It still can be 23 speed, so I'll keep it and see how it turns out for the first couple of rolls. But these blue ones, like I'd pretty much never keep them anymore. Right? I don't think there's any rune I would keep. Even Violet and Will, I don't keep them. Just because, like, at the point that I'm at, I've got enough runes that I don't really need these sort of mediocre runes. I only need like good runes, right? So I'm a lot more strict about that. But if you're earlier game, then you'd be more likely to keep them. Like for example, on my ult. My ult is, I would say, like a mid-game sort of account in terms of rune quality, and for that account, I'm more likely to keep certain runes, like like lesser quality runes. All right, this one could be a 17 speed. That's not bad. We'll keep that. And yeah, I guess like the best way to look at it is you look at the stats. Alright, and then think about what's the best case scenario. For example, on this one, right? Best case scenario, 16 crit rate. Is that an upgrade for any of your units? I guess that's something you have to decide for yourself, right? For me, that one wouldn't have been. If it was on my ult, I would probably keep it because I don't have that many 16 crit rate runes on it, right? But for this main account, it's not so good. If it was a purple quality, then I would keep it. But if it starts off with a max roll, then I might keep it just to see how it turns out. Like say that previous rune I was discussing just then, it was 4 crit rate, 6 HP, right? If it was 6 crit rate, oh hang on, yeah, I guess I'll keep that. Um, if it was 6 crit rate, then I would keep it because like potentially it's 18 crit rate. 18 crit rate, I think it's like a good sort of baseline to try to get to, right? I think the minimum to keep is 15 crit rate because I've said this in the previous video. 15 crit rate makes it a lot easier to rune max crit rate on across like multiple slots, right? As long as all your slots have about 15 crit rate on average, then it's quite easy to reach max crit rate. This one, I guess it could be a bomber rune. Yeah, so 18 crit rate makes it easier for your other slots because then like for your other slots you don't need as much crit rate and therefore maybe you could give up a bit of crit rate to get more speed or HP or whatever you need. So this one, 18 speed potential, right? We'll keep that. I mean, even if it rolls like 15, I might even just keep it around just in case someone could use it, especially for violent. For like other rune sets, I'll be a lot more strict. Like say if it was like say endure, if it's 18 speed, sure I'll keep it, right? Because that's already like max rolls, like double or sorry actually triple max roll, right? But for anything lower than that, it's already hard to use endure runes already, right? I don't use endure very often, so if I keep those sort of runes, I only keep very high quality ones. 16 crit rate, probably not. See, this is another good example. This rune, if the accuracy was something a bit more useful, for example, crit damage or speed, then sure, I would keep it. But it's like very min rolls, and the maximum it can be a 16 crit rate with no other substats. Probably not really that great for violent. Okay. We have to do a few more of these and then we'll probably switch to Will and then like as I said before, just try to like evenly distribute all the materials across the 3 dungeon types. You know, one thing I noticed actually on my ult is my ult runs out of these rune pieces, but this account doesn't, because I think it's because, well, actually I don't know if anyone's really noticed, but like I think if you farm the homunculus, you'll get a lot of rune pieces that you can't use yet, right? Because you have to use the crafting materials on the homunculus, right? Or the crystals. So you stack up a lot of rune pieces out of that, and you'll get like a good surplus. Like for me, usually once I finish doing rune crafting, I will have about like 1k left over, and that was pretty much what I had after I was done with the homunculus. On my ult, I haven't done the homunculus at all, right? And for that reason, my ult runs out of rune pieces before I can run out of the dungeon materials. So I think, yeah, some people get too many rune pieces and therefore they just like vendor it or vendors like the excess. But I recommend you don't do that because you never know. Like sometimes you might eventually just like run into like a bad string of like rune piece drops and don't get enough of them, and you don't want to be in that situation where you know you might you might run out of them, right? Similar to think. Oh, hang on, this is a good rune. We'll keep that. Similar idea to like unknown scrolls, right? Because come to us, nerf the unknown scroll drop rate, right? Although even though they increase the amount that we get when they do drop, I think people are starting to run out of unknown scrolls. So just in case something like that happens to rune pieces, just Like I don't think that you really get that much mana out of selling them anyway, so I don't see much point in selling them. But I know people who do sell them, and yeah, just I would just say just be careful when you do that. These main stat runes, even though they can be, like have good speed on them, I'd rather not keep them because of the main stat being like 5-star quality, and therefore you lose out on all the stats from that. If it's a Swift rune, it's a bit different. Swift rune, like well, a lot of Swift like ATB boosters, they don't really care about the the other stats. They just want the speed to move first. So for those ones are a bit more lenient, but for other stuff, especially like things like Will, which are big on PvP units, I try not to keep 5-star main stat runes because I don't want to lose out on that extra like attack percent or crit damage, HP, etc. I guess the one or two exceptions could be slot. Oh, hang on, we'll keep that. Will be slot 6 accuracy and resistance. Right? If they're 5-star with speed, probably still keep them and like just go for the speed roll. Oops. And even flat stat, like for Swift runes, you wouldn't mind keeping. Oh, this is a good rune. Like you wouldn't mind keeping those like on the main stat as long as it has a speed substat and it's like at least purple quality, right? At a minimum, because that's still potential, like say 20 to 24 speed, and that's still pretty good. Like you would use that over say a HP rune with 12 speed, right? You're getting quite a lot of speed out of it. So you'll notice, like for some of the newer players, like you may notice that when you look at some of the like high rank players and look at their Bernards, some of their Bernards will have flat stat, slot 4 and 6, or 6, and it's mostly just because it's got the speed substats. So don't be afraid to keep those, right? If you see them. But of course, when you upgrade it, if it doesn't go into speed the first time, it's probably going to be a sell. Unless it's orange, if it's a legend quality rune naturally, you might give it one more shot, right? Because a triple roll, like a quad roll into speed is still up like 20-ish speed. So that would, wait, this could be 20 speed, I guess. So we'll keep that. Running out of, I think I may have screwed up a little bit. It may not be perfectly even, but I used like most of the material, so that's okay. Oh, this is a good rune. Got a few good runes, so pretty happy. Hopefully that can like improve some of the some of my units. We'll see how they turn out in a second. We'll check the wills. Oops. Okay, we'll finish off the violent then. Damn, that's a shame. Okay, I think I'm out of. I might have one more Swift. Oh no, I don't. Okay, that's alright. So everything's pretty evenly used. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so I just made the most out of all the crafting materials. Because I need all 3 of those sets, so you can never get too many of them. Alright, let's start with the will ones. Alright, this one I think I was a bit unsure of, but if this one does like a triple or quad roll into HP, that'd be pretty good. Or if they're all going to crit damage, that would be also pretty decent. Alright, HP roll, that's a pretty bad roll, but I mean, it's something. Like if more rolls go into it, then it could be a good rune. I mean, it's potentially like it can be like 30 something HP, so that would be nice. Alright, flat defense, so this can still be 28 HP. I'll go for I'll go to +9. I think it's worth trying because wall runes are pretty hard to come by, or in my opinion. Because Necro takes longer to farm, typically. Well, at least out of my dungeon runs, it's the slowest, so I don't see as many wall runes as the other dungeons. So yeah, this will be like I need. Oh damn! I was gonna say I need it to be at a max roll and HP to be bothered to keep it, but it went to flat stats, so we set that. All right, I think I said this one I keep because of crit rate. I think there was some other runes like this that I probably should have kept because of the same reason, but I didn't really end up doing it. But oh well, I'm not losing sleep out of it. But this one. You gotta be pretty strict on it because the rolls on the everything else is pretty bad, and I think so. This one can be 19 crit rate still, but I think it's not really worth the mana because the other substats are not very useful, you know, for what it's trying to do. So yeah, I'm gonna sell. I can't really think of anything that I would use that on, even if it rolls, you know, pretty well. All right, this one I want double roll into HP. Or wait, if it's a max roll for 14 HP, and I guess if it's max roll in the first one for HP, oh never mind. I was gonna say if that was the case, then I would be forgiving on like a resist roll, but that was a really bad resist roll, so I'm gonna sell that. Okay, this one's not bad. This can be 18 speed. Or what, it could be 20 something, about 22% HP, that's not bad. Okay, unfortunate, I wanted the speed obviously, but if it rolls again into HP, like 20% or higher, that's still reasonable to keep. If it's 1-to-1, like, I'm not sure if I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep that. If it was max roll, I might have considered it, but 10 speed it's bit hard to rune for my standards. All right, this one's also a pretty nice blue rune. Like it's max rolls on crit rate and speed, so it's a good starting point. Now I need double roll into one, either one of them. Or if it's 1-on-1, I don't mind if it's like max rolls, like 12 crit rate, 12 speed is still okay, but. So now I'm hoping it goes into crit rate again, because I find it'll be a lot easier to mix and match when it's more focused into one stat. All right, 15. That's like the bare minimum. I'll still keep it. I'll see how it goes at +9. Yeah, I mean I don't mind 15 crit rate, but obviously it would have been so much better at 17 or 18. But oh well. I can see like who wants to use it, during the rune removal calculations later on. So from here, the rune would need crit damage and then probably HP, because this rune can't get attack. So like it frees up one substat to be used on something else. And usually I would pick HP, or defense is still okay as well, because you could use it on like a defense-based nuker. Say like like a Varad defense. Oh, there we go, defense. Okay, it's not bad. So the last slot, worst case scenario, I'll like enchant crit damage onto it. I'm pretty sure I have like will crit damage enchant as well, so that will be what it will end up being at the end. And it was a max roll on defense, so that's pretty nice as well. So yeah, I should be able to find someone to use it. Alright, this rune, I kept it because if it rolls like 2 or 3 times into attack, it will be a decent bomber rune. And I can also enchant speed into the last slot if I don't get it. Okay, accuracy is not the worst, and it was like a max roll, so I don't mind keep going. Because for bombers, you still need a decent amount of accuracy, right? So you don't neglect it as long as the roll is pretty good, like it's efficient, an efficient roll. So now I'm hoping for double attack roll. Crit damage would make it a sell because it's too hard to use. So we can get what, 16, 20. Oh, okay. Now it's a bit awkward. So we can get 13 attack and 20 accuracy. I guess that'll be okay. So I need a max roll in attack to make this worth keeping, I think. A little bit less I would maybe consider. With 20 accuracy makes it easier for your other slots to have less accuracy, so it's not that bad. Even though it was like a pretty bad roll, it was like 5% roll just then. But we can be a little bit more forgiving because it's a purple quality rune. If it was a blue rune, it would be a sell, right? Now for slot 1, you can't get defense on it. But for a bomber rune, you'd probably be looking. Oh no, damn it! That was bad. Even though it was a max roll, it could be a decent wall boss rune, but I'm probably not going to keep it for that purpose. Okay, this one, it has less potential than the previous one, but if it does double roll into like either of them, it can be useful. Like I would probably prefer a double roll into HP. Because this rune can't get defense on it, right? So I'll be hoping that I get res on one of the other two slots, and it's actually not a bad thing that there's a flat HP innate stat. That's like a random little bonus. So yeah, that's not bad. And yeah, there's two chances to get res on it afterwards. Otherwise, you can always enchant it because you don't really care about any other substat. Like as long as it's a high HP rune, and I think anything less than 20, yeah, I'm probably not gonna keep this. It's decent rolls, but it's a little bit too hard to use as a blue rune because I'm relying on it having like probably speed and accuracy on it, and then it will be like a decent like Sierra or Bomber rune. But I think I can do better, right? At least for like bomber type runes, because I'm not gonna have that many bombers, right? So you don't really need to keep that many of them, but you do want to have some available for the in case you eventually get a Sierra or something like that. I mean, obviously I don't have a Sierra right now, but I do keep good quality ones for that eventuality. Now this one rolled into crit rate max roll. That's pretty good. That's a good start, and it's also got a max roll in a starting max roll in attack, which is pretty nice for like a 5-star rune. So that's a good start. Hopefully we can get something decent from the next roll, and even the defense percent is not that bad. All right, another max roll into crit rate, so then we can keep this. All right, automatically can keep it. Even though it's a 5-star rune, I lose that on 3 speed. Right, because it's a 5-star speed roll, a bit speed slot 2, which is not that bad. It's okay as long as the substats are good. It makes it worth keeping, and I'm pretty sure I should be able to use it on someone. With the last slot, I can go for like crit damage or HP. So I'm obviously hoping for another crit rate roll or max attack roll would be nice. Defense roll wouldn't be the worst though, but obviously it's going to be the worst choice out of those. And this also has an innate flat, which is also, it's a nice little bonus, right? Every little bit helps. And it's not, oh, this is a nice rune now. And yeah, the other good thing about having it in the innate stat, it means you can't randomly roll it from the last roll. Obviously there's still flat stats that I could get, but at least there's one that I can't, right? It's like every little bit helps. Actually, I'm not gonna continue rolling this. Like, basically, in the end, I'm gonna go for crit damage most likely, and I can enchant that onto it. So I'm not gonna waste any time on trying to upgrade that. All right, let's do the Violet runes next. Okay, this is a good tanky rune, and if it all goes into like HP, defense, and res, that would make it a good like healer rune. Because I can also, I mean, I don't have the enchant at the moment, but eventually I can enchant off the accuracy, and that would make it, you know, a pretty good support rune. Now, one roll into res is okay. I don't mind a bit of res, but I need the rest, like at least 2 of the other rolls to go into HP or defense. Alright, that was a pretty shitty. Oops, sorry. That was a pretty shitty defense roll, but there's still 2 more upgrades that you can get, so we'll see how that goes. Ideally, ideally I need at least 1 HP roll, because 6% base HP is pretty hard to use. Like, I could see this being used on something like an Aerial or Eladriel. Both are being OG. Eladriel doesn't really need a super high amount of speed, but he does want a little bit. So like having like a speed enchant on it, because like speed enchant doesn't give you a lot of speed, right? But it's enough for something like an Eladriel or say Iona, any of those like reviver types, because they don't need to be like super fast. Something like mid-range sort of speed, like 160-ish speed, is what you want to aim for. Okay, that was another res roll. The best case scenario, I get a HP roll, and I don't think that's good enough. 14 HP. I think I can do better. I've got better runes already, so I think I'm gonna sell that, because the rolls, like you can see, the rolls there are very inefficient. After like a triple roll, it's only 18 resistance, which is not very good. Okay, so this one is like a decent Sierra rune, or potential Sierra rune. Unfortunately, the speed is innate, but it is like it's still a bonus. But it means I can't grind it, so it's not as good. But if I can get, oh, never mind, it's sold now. If I could get good rolls into HP and attack, then it would have been, you know, fine to keep. But it's now downgraded to a blue rune because I lost 1 roll into flat stat. Alright, this is another good potential rune. The HP is not max roll, but it's pretty close to max roll, so I mean this is almost as good as it can get, right, for blue rune. So hopefully I can get some more max rolls. Okay, that's not a max roll, but it's like almost 14% is not bad on HP. If I can get a max roll in speed or HP, then yeah, it will be a pretty nice rune for blue rune. Especially slot 3, because slot 3 is a bit more limited in what you can get. Alright, 10 speed is pretty bad. I have a lot better runes, so I'm gonna sell this. But I think if this was on my ult, I would keep it, but not on this account. Like, this rune already looks a lot better than that previous rune, right? As long as I don't get an accuracy roll. Actually, 1 accuracy roll is okay, as long as the other 2 rolls go into speed. Otherwise, like a triple HP roll would be nice for something like, you know, like an Iona. Damn it, I got a 1 accuracy roll. So now I'm hoping for like double speed. That would make it like a good Galleon rune or something similar to Galleon. You know, a violent user that wants accuracy. There are a few, I guess. Not that many. Basically like debuffers, right? Like Orion wouldn't mind something like this as well. Oh my god, another accuracy roll. I'm gonna go for the 12 speed, because 12 speed is still okay. It's not good by any means, but with an 18% accuracy roll, that's pretty like decent for, yeah, like I could maybe mix and match with things like Galleon to make use of it. So I'll try and see how it turns out. But if it doesn't max roll, then I'm probably gonna sell it. I mean, max roll to speed. Any other roll, probably not keeping. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep that. 6 speed is too hard to use for, like, you know, for where I'm at. Alright, this one, again, looking for multiple rolls into speed. I think I haven't really... A lot of the runes I've rolled for this session have been rips, right? At the end. There was that Goodwill rune. Okay, this is still okay at the moment. This is also a potential bomber rune or Sierra rune, right? Even though it's a 5-star rune, but if I can get some efficient rolls, then it could be okay. At the moment, it's like a bit mediocre because it's like 11%, 16% attack. So this is like a blue rune at the moment. I could get 10 speed. I think that's not good enough. I'm gonna sell that. On my ult, I'll probably keep it, but yeah. As similar to the other runes, not for this account. Alright, this one is like a double roll to speed or bust. Because I have a lot of slot 1s actually, with speed, and I don't really need anything less than, you know, a double roll. 16 I would keep. 15 maybe I consider, 14 I would sell. Alright, now we sell. Alright, this was the first rune I crafted, right? It was actually a pretty good for first rune, but it will only be good if I can get double roll to speed. Obviously, for obvious reasons, right? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Alright, max roll, that's good. Good start. 17 would be, you know, nice to keep. Because all the rune would need, for the most part, would be HP, and I could make use of that. Or at least a 17 speed, and then I just need to enchant HP or get it on the other rolls. Alright, 16 is still reasonable. Let's try +9 and hope for HP roll. I wouldn't mind accuracy or resist as well, because this could be a good raid rune. I actually use slot 2 defense on units that you may not really think about, like things like Lisa and my previous Colleen would use something like this, right? I actually don't use slot 2 speed on them because I usually keep a lot of good, you know, speed runes that are like 15 or higher speed, right? And if you average that out on the other runes, you don't really need speed on slot 2. Otherwise, like, if I put speed slot 2, oh, here we go, HP roll, it's a bad roll, but it's decent. But as I was saying, if you put like an average of 15 speed ungraded on your other runes, if you put speed slot 2 on that unit, they're gonna be like 240 speed or something like that, right? It's unnecessary. So for that reason, I put defense on slot 2 to make them tankier, and they're still like about 200, 210 speed, and that's still pretty good for raids, and just makes them able to tank front line. So yeah, we'll keep this one. I'm sure someone can use it, I think. Alright, this one is like a DPS rune, you know, for a violent user. So if I can get multiple crit rate, it'll be good. Crit damage, not the worst, as long as I get at least probably 2 rolls into crit rate. Alright, resistance is pretty bad, but this can still be 16 crit rate, so we'll keep going. So this sort of rune you could use, I would maybe use it on like a Nuka Varad or Wind Panda, would like it. Who was his defense based on violent? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but there are definitely like various defense based nukas. Okay, now that's kinda... Nah, I'm not gonna keep that. I needed it to have like a good average crit rate, you know, sort of roll for it to be worth keeping. Alright, these speed rolls. I've actually upgraded Bernard like a little bit. I think it was actually a couple, like mid-month this time. He upgraded his speed by like 3, and I haven't seen like a new upgrade for him since then. He's still less than 300 speed. He's only 293. So you can see like my luck with speed rolls on Swift runes is pretty bad. I mean, this rune it can be 15 speed, which is still okay, but it's not gonna like change any units. I don't think. Be hard to use still, but for a main slot rune, I would still keep. Like maybe I could use it on like a Purian or something, even though it's still not that great for him. 14. I guess I'll see if anyone will use it during rune removal. If no one uses it, I'll probably sell it because it's kind of mediocre. Alright, this one can be 20 speed. I'm not sure if it's going to be an upgrade or not, but I mean, I use a lot of units that will use Swift, so I need to get more runes that are like 18 plus, and this one can do that, so that's why I kept it, even though it's 5-star. Just that you have to get really lucky, and you have to be, pretty strict about, keeping it. If it if it derps on one of the rolls, like say this one, then you have to make sure you sell it. Or like you don't be like, oh, it can still be like 15 speed, but 15 speed on Swift is still not that great, unless you don't have that many Swift runes. If you don't have a lot of Swift runes, yeah, sure, go for it. So this one can be 18 speed. I don't think it's really worth the effort, but I'll go to +6. Because I've watched people upgrade runes before, and some people keep going even though the rune obviously looks like it's no longer gonna be no longer has any potential. So that's why I mentioned that. Damn it! Why do you have to do that? I was hoping it didn't do that because then I don't need a +9. Because now I can still go to 18 speed, which is like it's okay. It's okay for Swift. I was hoping it didn't go to that. Didn't roll that because I wanted to save my mana, but now I feel obligated to try. And then I'm gonna feel really bad if I get let's say this goes to 13, and then I have to go to +12, and if that one fails to get the speed upgrade, I'm gonna feel so bad. I just wasted like so much mana getting to +12. As you know, going to +12 costs quite a bit of mana, right? It takes a lot of time as well. So derping on that last upgrade, it just feels really bad, and I feel very relieved that didn't go into speed. Okay, now this one is a good all-round rune. A lot of potential here. Alright, it can be good DPS rune, or obviously if it's triple roll into speed, it'll be a good Bernard rune. But as long as it goes into crit rate, instead of speed, that's still fine. I don't mind that there's an attack stat there, but I don't really want any of the rolls to go into it. Especially now that one of the rolls went to speed. If it was 2 rolls into crit rate and then 1 into attack, that's still okay, because that's like a good Swift DPS rune. But yeah, here now I'm hoping I have a double crit rate roll or 1 crit rate, 1 speed. I mean double speed, right? So now, as long as this goes into either speed or crit rate, it's like usable, because it's got efficient. It's in one rune, it's adding a lot of total crit rate and speed combined, right? Because you're gonna need both on a speed nuker. So as long as the rolls go into those stats, they will be usable. Even though like 10 crit rate doesn't look very good, but when you combine it with like 15 or 16 speed, that's still pretty nice. Oh damn it! Didn't turn out the way I wanted, but I might I'm gonna hang on to it just to see if anyone will use it, and if no one uses it, I'll just sell it after rune removal. But yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Alright, this one, similar idea, but it has to go triple into 1, I think, because with 5-star variations, you can't get enough total stats to make it really worthwhile. if it's split between two stats. But when it's 6-star, if it's max rolls or at least medium rolls, then like you can get like a total of 10 speed and 15 crit rate, for example. That's pretty good. You can't really get that on a 5-star. So this is double roll into crit rate. Even though there's a couple of like low rolls, it can be 17 crit rate, and that would be usable, right? Will be like easier to use then, because like as long as you have high crit rate, you can always make it like a damage dealer, right? Because it's easier to give them max crit rate. But if it's only 12 crit rate, then it's harder to make it max crit rate, and then you might have good speed, but you won't have high crit rate to get consistent damage, and that's very important. So I don't mind having like a 5 speed roll on there, as long as I have 15 or higher crit rate. And that just means the last roll will need to be like, as long as I get the crit rate roll, the fourth roll needs to be crit damage or attack. Okay, that's pretty unfortunate. This rune's very hard to use, but if you don't have a lot of like DPS runes, you might keep it around. But for me, the total stats on that is not high enough. So I didn't really keep that many runes, to be honest, considering how much I crafted. But oh well. I've gotten like a few upgrades this month, so so I should be able to improve stuff overall. Actually, I don't really know what I'm going for on this rune, but if it's like multiple HP runes, it's a decent broken set for a tanky unit, maybe. I don't know. It can be 18 speed, but it's kind of hard to use on, I think. Oh, I'm just going for efficient rolls at this point. Alright, that's at least that was a good speed roll. I think here I'm hoping for another speed roll. I don't know if I would keep, I guess I might keep it if it's another HP roll, just because it's kind of efficient. But I guess we'll have to see at +9. I can't really think of who I would use this on, but I think it's good to have it around as an option, as long as you like. If you don't mind storing monsters like runes on unused monsters like I do, it's good to keep runes that are efficient just in case someone uses it eventually. Alright, 18 speed on the slot 2. It's not bad. I have to have a look on who I'll give it to, but yeah, it's not too bad. Maybe a raid rune or something, I don't know. Alright, is there anything else that I can upgrade? I think that's it for this video. So yeah, there's not as much crafting this time. I think last month it was like over an hour. But yeah, going forth to next month, I'll probably have more crafts to do because I'll be doing raid beasts again. And there'll be another rune crafting video shortly. I'm gonna need to spend some time to edit the video, but yeah, there'll be another one coming up, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys enjoy rune removal, have fun, hope your units improve, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.